Alright, so here's my home-built CNC machine. It's going to be used for a plasma cutter table, and just wanted to go through the basic components of what I'm using here. I have a Dell refurbished Pentium 4 system, Core 2, 2-core Optiplex that I bought refurbished off of Newegg. Paid $170 for it, super cheap. Came with a Windows 64, Windows 7 64-bit, and unfortunately, the 64-bit does not work with the Mach 3 software. So if you do go with a refurbished Windows 7 system, make sure you get Win32 or Win732. I ended up having to buy a full version of Windows Premium and use the 32-bit version. The reason is because the parallel port, which I also had to buy separately as a card because most of the newer machines do not come with them. The parallel port does not operate with the Mach 3 system. The drivers are not there for Mach 3 for the 64-bit system. So you will need to buy a Windows 7. If you buy a Windows 7 system, or if you have WinXP, you can use that as well, simply because of the parallel port, which is a DB25 card, has to use a regular DB25 port. It communicates with the Mach 3 software and the stepper motor. So that's the next phase of this. The stepper motor is a TB6560. It's the Chinese version that you get on eBay. This was a 4-axis model so that I could run a slave Y driver, Y motor. And the Y motor is basically running the other side of the, I call it the A motor. It's running the opposite side of the Y on the axis for the gantry, so you get a little faster Y movement. So right there is the 24-volt motor. It has, I tested it on a multimeter to make sure it was running 24 volts. It does have a selector there, so you can adjust the voltage, and I highly recommend you check it before you fire it up and apply it to your board. And then the board, which is kind of slipped in there, it worked out pretty nicely actually. I was able to get it to fit into the blank spot where the 5.5-inch drive goes, and it's sitting back up in there underneath the 5.5-inch CD-ROM drive behind that blank panel. And then what I did from there is kind of slick as well, is I used Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable, which I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Is basically I got the idea from another small manufacturer of CNC kits, and essentially what is happening here is they're using Cat 6 cable, and all I did, and I don't want to open it all the way up because it'll kind of come apart, is I ran a punch down keystone from there. It's inside there, and it's running to the individual ports on the this is running to the punch down, which is on the front of the TB6560, which is the 4-axis CNC controller. And then the controller itself just kind of sits in there with the DB25 cable coming out the back, and then running out and back into the cabinet for the parallel port. And then I also made a switch, which you can see there. It's just a simple Home Depot 110 switch, which then I cut a small hole through the front panel, and that's the on-on switch for the CNC controller. You definitely want to have that switch on there. You do not want to have that going separately. Anyway, so this is about a 5-minute video. I don't want to spend too much time with it. I just wanted to give you an idea of how this is all put together, and how this all neatly fits into the cabinet of the Dell PC, which I purchased as my standalone CNC controller. And then you'll see the color coding 4 cables that come off to the 4 steppers. And then just before I hit the 5-minute mark, I want to show you real briefly how all of these spin as I use the jog. First I got to turn it on. Alright, hit reset. And all my You can hear them kind of going. And that's my left, that's my Z axis. I'm sorry, my Y. And then I've got my other, which is my X, and then page up and down is my Z. And so that's my jog. And then I've got for some reason I've got the slave not working here. It should be slaved off of there, but I got to figure out why this one is not working as well. It appears to be working pretty good. It seems to get hung up every once in a while. I'm wondering if there's some cross interference, but we'll see how that works. Anyways, thanks for watching.